Imagine surviving something that tried to kill you, something that took a part of you. Literally. You fight. You heal. You rebuild. You learn to look in the mirror again. And then one night, your anniversary night, a group of drunk strangers decide to make your body the punchline of their joke. What would you do? She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She didn't walk away. She said 3 words. And those 3 words made every single one of them go completely silent. If you've ever been judged for something people knew absolutely nothing about, if you've ever held your head high when someone tried to tear you down, this story is going to hit different. Welcome to Dark Truths Untold, where we tell the stories the world tries to ignore. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me. Because I promise you, by the end of this story, you're going to feel something. Let's set the scene. It's a Friday evening. The kind where the city feels alive. Neon signs reflecting off wet pavement. The low hum of bar conversations. Glasses clinking. Laughter bleeding through open doors. Our narrator, let's call her Sarah, is sitting at a bar, alone, waiting. She's dressed up. Not over the top. Just right. A flowing skirt. Heels she actually practiced walking in. And a blouse. A somewhat low-cut blouse. That she picked specifically, intentionally, for one person. Her husband. Tonight is their anniversary. Now, here's something I need you to understand before we go any further. This isn't just any anniversary dinner. This is a celebration that, for a while, neither of them was sure would ever happen. Because exactly 1 year ago, 1 year before this anniversary dinner, 1 year before these heels and this blouse and this bar, Sarah was sitting in a very different kind of room. White walls. Fluorescent lighting. A doctor's face arranged in that careful, practiced expression that medical professionals learn when they have to deliver news that will permanently divide someone's life into before and after. Hereditary breast cancer. Those 2 words landed like a stone dropped into still water. The ripples spread outward, touching everything. Her marriage. Her body. Her identity. Her future. She made the decision that many women in her position make. A double mastectomy. Remove the fret. Buy back the future. Trade a part of herself now. For the chance to have a self at all. Surgery. Recovery. Reconstruction. Months of looking in the mirror at a body that felt simultaneously like hers. And like a stranger's. Her husband held her hand through every appointment. Sat beside her through every moment of doubt. Told her, every single time she needed to hear it. You are still you. And slowly, painfully, beautifully, she started to believe him. So yes, tonight matters. This anniversary dinner is not just a date on a calendar. It is a declaration. A quiet, personal victory lap. We made it. She chose the blouse deliberately. A small act of reclamation. Of owning her body again. On her own terms. She felt good. She felt like herself. She felt, maybe for the first time in a long time, beautiful. She ordered a drink. Checked her phone. Husband running a few minutes late. The usual. She smiled. Settled into her seat. And that's when she heard them. They were a group of maybe 5 or 6 people. Men and women both. Occupying the cluster of seats just beside her. They'd clearly been there a while. Voices too loud for the space. Gestures too wide. That particular brand of drunk confidence. Where people forget that other humans around them are people. Sarah wasn't paying much attention at first. She was in her own world. A good world, a hopeful world. Mentally ordering from the restaurant menu in her head. Thinking about how to tell her husband how much the last year had meant to her. Then she caught a word. Then another. Then she realized, with that slow, cold creeping certainty, that the words were about her. One of the women in the group, gesturing loosely in Sarah's direction, was talking about her breasts. Not quietly. Not discreetly. Loudly. Casually. The way people talk about a bad paint job on a car. Or an ugly piece of furniture. Like Sarah was an object on display. Rather than a human being sitting 3 feet away. I hate when women do that to themselves, one said. They look so fake, another agreed, laughing. Women with fake breasts are just fake people, you know. Like, what are you compensating for? More laughter. Someone made a gesture. Another nodded vigorously. Warming to the topic the way cruel people do. When they find an audience.
And Sarah, who had survived a diagnosis that many women don't. Sarah, who had sat through surgeries and follow-ups and the slow reconstruction of not just her body, but her confidence. Sarah, who had chosen this blouse on this night as a private act of self-love. Sarah sat there and listened. There's a specific kind of pain that comes from being mocked for something people don't understand. It's not just anger, though the anger is there, hot and immediate, rising up from somewhere primal. It's something deeper, a kind of helplessness. She felt her jaw tighten. She felt the warmth drain slightly from the evening. She felt all the careful, emotional work of the last 12 months. The therapy, the small daily victories, the mirror work, all of it, suddenly feel fragile. She picked up her drink, set it down again without taking a sip. The group continued, getting louder, getting more specific, getting more comfortable in their cruelty. And something inside Sarah shifted, not broke, shifted, like a gear clicking into place. There's a moment, if you've ever been pushed far enough, where fear and hesitation simply stop. Where you stop calculating the social risk. Stop worrying about making a scene. Stop editing yourself for the comfort of people who are actively hurting you. Sarah reached that moment. She turned in her seat. She faced them, this group of laughing, oblivious strangers, and she let the silence sit for just a beat. Long enough for one or two of them to notice her looking. Long enough for the laughter to flicker. Just slightly. And then she spoke. Not loudly, not with anger in her voice. With something far more powerful than anger. Calm. You know what I hate more than fake breasts? The group went quiet. Not all at once. The way groups do. It was staggered. One person stopped mid-laugh. Then another looked up. Then the person who'd been talking trailed off. Within about 3 seconds that must have felt like 3 minutes, the table was silent. Every eye was on Sarah. She held the pause. 1 breath, maybe 2. Breast cancer. The silence that followed was a different kind of silence than the one before. This wasn't the silence of people pausing between jokes. This was the silence of people suddenly confronted with themselves, with the gap between who they thought they were and what they had just done. You could almost see it happening in real time. The smirks fading, the body language changing, shoulders coming in, eyes dropping. The physical vocabulary of people who have just realized they did something they cannot take back. Someone said quietly, "Shit, sorry." No bravado, no defensiveness, just 2 words, carrying the full weight of what they all understood in that moment. They began gathering their things shortly after. One by one, they filtered away from the bar. Sarah watched them go. She didn't gloat. She didn't need to. She turned back to the bar, picked up her drink, and took a sip. A few minutes later, the door opened, and her husband walked in. She looked at him, this man who had held her hand through the worst year of her life, and she started laughing. Not a sad laugh, not a bitter one, a real one, full and warm and genuine. She told him what happened, and he laughed too. And together, in that bar, on their anniversary, they laughed. Victory. Quiet, private, complete. Here's what I want you to sit with for a moment. Sarah didn't plan that response. She didn't rehearse it in the mirror. It wasn't some elaborate revenge scheme. It was simply the truth. And the truth, delivered at exactly the right moment, with exactly the right composure, turned out to be the most powerful weapon in the room. Those people came to that bar carrying their assumptions like armor. In 5 words, Sarah stripped every one of those assumptions bare. She didn't ask them to understand her. She simply held up a mirror and let them see themselves clearly for one uncomfortable, unavoidable moment. And sometimes, that is the most devastating revenge of all. We move through the world making snap judgments about people based on fragments. A blouse, a scar, a laugh. We never see the full story. And somewhere out there tonight, someone is carrying something invisible and heavy, and the person beside them is about to say something cruel. Don't be that person. And if you ever are on the receiving end, remember Sarah. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply let people meet the truth of you. They won't be ready for it. They never are. If this story hit you somewhere deep, smash that like button. It takes 1 second and it means everything for this channel. Tell me in the comments, have you ever silenced someone with just the truth? Drop it below. Subscribe to Dark Truths Untold. New story dropping soon. Don't miss it.